We saw the debate on Friday. I'm sure you saw it as well. Now, look, we're not going to pull it apart piece by piece because we spent plenty of time doing that on the weekend. But it's interesting to see some of the fallout and where things have gone after the debate. Now, of course, you saw exactly how the president performed, Biden performed on Friday, and his team went into overdrive on the weekend to try and fix up the mess that he had created. His team was on the phone basically the minute he walked off the stage, calling up as many supporters as possible, calling snap meetings with his staffers. They were on the phone to Chuck Schumer to see what everyone thought about it because they know exactly how badly this has played out. We will give you a little reminder of how things went on Friday morning. So we haven't got that grab just yet. But when you look at Biden and the way he performed on the weekend or Friday for us, there is no way now that he can be the candidate. He just can't, right? Unless the Democrats want to lose that election. Because as I said on the US report on Friday night, he lost the presidency on Friday morning. Now, whether that means that he loses the presidency before November or he loses it in November is somewhat immaterial, but he lost the presidency in some way or another. If they're not doing something now to get rid of him, there's something wrong, right?
But I think this was it.
The purpose of it.
There's a reason why this was the earliest presidential debate in American history. You don't have it this far out to an election. You wait until things are a lot hotter, maybe a month, maybe a couple at a stretch. We're here in, well, it only just went July. This was June. And they're having debates to decide who you're going to vote for in November. And I said this months ago when the Dems did this dramatic 180. No, we're not going to debate. No, we're not going to have a presidential debate. All of a sudden, yes, we are. I said there's only two reasons why they would do this. Number one, because we're going to see the Manhattan Project of pharmaceutical stimulants and everyone's going to be like, oh, actually, it wasn't that bad. I think he's up for it. He's got my vote.
It failed if they did.
Or option number two, and this one always had my money, was that this was deliberate. The whole idea was to do it this early so people could watch him crash and burn, and the Democrats would have the justification to do a ditch and switch with quite a few months out to the election, as opposed to if they'd done it in normal presidential debate time, that would have been a very, very dire situation. So they make sure the debate happens in June. And despite all the CNN being a very friendly network for the Democrats, all the bits and pieces that were put in place, there was a 2-minute delay. What do you need a 2-minute delay, CNN, for? What were you anticipating could happen while the debate was underway? Was he maybe going to collapse or something? I mean, for those not in media, a 2-minute delay is you're preparing for potentially Armageddon. So despite all of that, Biden still couldn't do an even average job. It was genuinely painful.
Well, you mentioned how early the debate was in terms of the month, June, but it was also late because it was 9 o'clock at night, wasn't it? Which clearly Joe Biden is not performing at his premium that late in the evening. He's normally in bed, or it was certainly late in the evening.
I saw a story today that said he apparently is like tuckered out after 4 p.m, the poor bugger. Yeah. I mean, you know, wheeling him out.
Well, first they said, have brokered that as well.
They said his poor performance
wasn't a setup, which I believe it was.
They said his poor performance was because he had a cold. It must have been the mother of all man colds to produce that performance.
Well, and he was up fine and dandy the next morning with a teleprompter, performing much better. He sounded totally fine. So if he had a cold, that was why he sounded so croaky. That's crap. And did you see today, they're now claiming that it was because the CNN makeup artists had done him up too pale or something, and that made him look like he was sick. Like, they're looking for every excuse in the book.
The problem is we've all seen it. We've got a clip here. We'll show you the one from 2019 where Biden is debating, and you can all see the comparison for yourselves and the deterioration in just a short space of time. Have a look at this.
I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights, and those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
He wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare
for the ability for the.
So there you go. It's plain for all to see, and it doesn't matter how the Democrats try to spin this man flu, bad makeup artist, whatever you want. But it gets even worse, right? Not only does that debate performance demonstrate why he should not be president again, but they're now meeting at Camp David, and he's getting advice from among people like Hunter Biden is there. He's got the family advising him on what he should do.
Get on the drugs. That's the advice. Hey, Dad, want some methamphetamine? That'll get you going, buddy.
Got plenty of powder, which the White House at one point tried to convince us was soaring powder. You know, like the wood chips that you get when you're soaring.
Right.
And
but
apparently Hunter Biden is a prolific carpenter.
But do you remember they were saying the problem, it's unfair to Biden because everyone set such a low bar for him to jump, and they were complaining the bar was so low, like he's just got to show up and breathe. Well, he couldn't even jump that.
I know. Well, he was barely breathing, right? But I couldn't get over Nancy Pelosi. Then coming out afterwards, and like you saw it with your own eyes, what happened at that debate. You know, Biden is utterly demented. His brain is mashed potato. We can all see it. So Nancy Pelosi comes out and says, perhaps it's not Biden we should be worried about. There's another man with dementia that's a bigger threat.
My people are very much Biden, Kamala Harris, and this is an opportunity for Joe Biden to go out there and show he has the stamina and the rest. And by the way, while the press, and for some reason they don't, there are healthcare professionals who think that Trump has dementia, that his connection, his thoughts do not go together.
Isn't it amazing? No, Trump's got dementia. Don't worry about Biden.
You know who this election is going to be between, don't you? The Republicans and the Dementia-crats.
Where did you get that one from?
How can you say that? How can you say that with a straight face?
Oh, it's Nancy Pelosi. She said worse with a straight face.
True. And there are moments when I've wondered whether Nancy Pelosi is all there herself, to be quite frank.
She's faltering.
She's just as ancient as Joe Biden is.
Well, I mean, I think even Jill is showing signs of dementia. I mean, do you remember after the debate, and she says to Joe, "You did so good.
No.
So great."
And you answered all the questions.
But wait, and then she says to the crowd, she says, "And what did Trump do?" Just after she's told absolute porkies, because he knows he didn't do great, she knows he didn't do great, we all know he didn't do great. And then she goes, "But Donald Trump lies." She's just lied to her husband about his performance.
No. That's not a sign that she has dementia. That's a sign that she is desperate to continue living in the White House, and she's propping up her husband every single day to try and keep him in the place. Because you look at everywhere he goes now, he's holding her hand, he's leading her, she waves to the public. She is the public face of that marriage because she wants to stay in the White House.
Well, right after the debate, Donald Trump just exited stage left. And Biden, I timed it was 20 seconds it took him to get down 3 steps, Liz, with Jill holding his arm.
Yeah. No, it was all on display, and I'm surprised that any elder abuse advocates haven't come after Jill Biden because she has done this for years now, and the Democrats are kind of being forced to wake up and smell the kibble and admit that they can smell the kibble. Even the lefty media in America are having to admit after Friday's performance, I can't believe it. Maybe there's some truth to these dementia rumours. The guy is not okay.